Welcome, everyone, to a Wednesday episode of the Call Sheet Podcast here at the Fans First Sports Network. I'm Kevin Smith, your host. Great topic today. We're going to talk about why Curt Cignetti's message to America, one that he imparted while he was standing on the field just after winning the national championship on Monday night, why that message should resonate with Americans beyond the sport of football. Why is Curt Cignetti's message so important for people to hear in this country, particularly in this moment? First, before we get to that, congratulations to Indiana. Phenomenal football game on Monday night. Indiana's championship is arguably the most improbable run to a natty of any program in NCAA history. This is an Indiana program that went 90 and 147 in the 20 years prior to Curt Cignetti arriving in Bloomington in 2024. 90 and 147. In the Big Ten, when they were playing their peers, 41 and 120. And in 2 years, Curt Cignetti goes 27-2 and wins a natty. How the heck did he do that? That's part of our conversation. But the bigger part of it is about what he had to say to reporters immediately after that game. Standing on the field, confetti falling all around him. He's soaking wet from the Gatorade bath he's just received, which, by the way, if some of you may have done like the ice bucket challenge back during COVID when that was going around, that was a thing. But I'm guessing you probably haven't had a giant bucket of Gatorade with ice in it dumped on your head. If you haven't, let me tell you this. It's so much colder than you think it is. It's freezing. It's really cold. It takes your breath away. And I watch these coaches sometimes where it's 29 degrees outside and they just won a big game and they get the Gatorade bath. Secretly, they're all pissed. They don't act pissed because, you guys, you got me. They have to act excited. Obviously, if you get a Gatorade bath, something good just happened. It's not like you lost a big game and they dumped it on you. So, you're celebratory, but you're pissed. It's freezing. And then you got to stand there on the field and freeze. Regardless, Cignetti, bathed in Gatorade, gets asked by a reporter on the field, did you ever expect to be here? Meaning on this stage, having just won the national championship. And his quote was phenomenal. Here's what he said. He said, back when I was waxing the staff tables at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, where he got his first head coaching job in 2011. Back when I was waxing the staff tables at IUP, did I ever think something like this was possible? Probably not. But if you keep your nose down in life and you keep working, anything is possible. That message right there. If you keep your nose down in life and you keep working, anything is possible, should resonate with all Americans. And yeah, it sounds a little rah-rah. It sounds a little Hollywood scriptwriter, little motivational football coach. It's all of those things. But it is also the answer to so many things. It is the answer. Athletes like to say, you can't cheat the grind. Very common thing that you hear guys who post stuff on their social media. They're in the weight room. Tuesday afternoon squats. You can't cheat the grind. There's truth to that. There is truth to that. The grind is the way. Both in sports and in life. And this is a really important message. And I think about an article I was reading on NPR back in the fall. And I can't remember the exact title, but it was titled something along the lines of many young people are losing faith in the American dream. And the gist of the article was that for a lot of young Americans, millennials in particular, the notion of an American dream, that you will inherit an America that was better than the one your parents had. And that if you work hard, that the American dream, the ability to live a comfortable life, is attainable. But that for a lot of young people, when they look at massively rising costs, whether it's food or housing or travel, wages that aren't keeping pace with the increased cost of living, opportunities that tend to be drying up, whether it's a result of technology or overseas competition, whatever it might be. A lot of young people think the world's getting harder. America is getting harder. My son, who's 27 years old, he lives in Philadelphia. He has a really good job. He works really hard. He's struggling financially. It's expensive living in a city, particularly in the Northeast. He worries about putting together enough money to have a down payment on a house someday. I'd worry too if I were in my 20s and the median housing price in America was now in the 300,000s and interest rates were 5 and 6%. Where am I going to get that money? In that NPR article, a lot of these young people talked about they don't believe politicians are the solution, that they don't feel as though politicians truly have their needs and their best interests in mind. They're probably right. There is no someone else that serves as the best solution. The best solution is you. Cignetti's message, it's a reminder as well, we can't worry about things that are out of our control. Right? We have to take care of us. That's a message I tried to impart to our football teams at Ocean City when I was the head coach. Don't worry about anything or anyone else. It was the old Bill Belichick. Do your job. And if we get 11 guys all doing their job together to the best of their ability, good things are going to happen. Do your job. Don't worry about the things you can't control. I know that's hard for young people in this age of social media. Talking to my son one night, he was like, Dad, I look at all my friends, guys I went to high school with, guys I went to college with, people I know. I look at their Instagram pages. They're in Italy. They're in some Caribbean island. They're at a great concert. Feels like they're all living these fabulous lives, and I'm not. I'm just trying to grind away and pay my rent. And I get it. I get that. And I always come back with, but man, listen, that is not reality. Social media is not reality. It is an idealized version of our own lives, carefully monitored, edited, and constructed to create an image of our lives that we want others to see. It is about as realistic as reality television. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about what other people are posting. Don't worry about what other people have to say. Put your nose down. Work hard. You will be rewarded. Look at Curt Cignetti's star quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Just won the national championship on the heels of winning the Heisman Trophy. This is a young man who came out of high school as a 2-star recruit. I love what Nick Saban had to say about the star system when you're talking about recruiting. He said, we never pay any attention to how many stars a guy has coming out of high school because the people giving out those stars don't know what the hell they're looking at. Love that quote. But as a barometer, Mendoza's a 2-star. A lot of kids out there, 3, 4, and 5 stars that he probably felt he was better than. He's a Miami kid. He grew up rooting for the Hurricanes. He wants to play at Miami. They don't offer him. He goes to the coaching staff and asks for a spot as a walk-on. Just give me a chance. Let me walk on. Denied. They wouldn't even let him walk on. He winds up going out to University of California. He has 2 decent years there. Doesn't have any jaw-dropping numbers. Keeps grinding, keeps working. Finds his way to Indiana with Curt Cignetti in 2025, and we all know the rest. How poetic was it that Mendoza got to go back to Miami to play the Hurricanes in the national championship and, of course, beat them. And what about Cignetti? What about Cignetti himself? And this is a guy born in Pittsburgh in the 1960s, raised in West Virginia, his formative years in West Virginia in the 1970s. I mean, if you grew up in Western Pennsylvania or in West Virginia in the late 60s through the 1970s, you saw some hardship. I mean, that's when the coal and steel industries died. The jobs went away. People's standards of living decreased. You saw a lot of hardship. Cignetti's dad was the football coach at West Virginia University for a few years. Cignetti himself went to West Virginia as a backup quarterback, played behind two future NFL players, Oliver Luck, father of Andrew Luck, and Jeff Hostetler. Haas went on to win a Super Bowl with the Giants. Cignetti himself never really played at West Virginia, didn't let that diminish his love for the game of football, immediately enters into a coaching career upon graduation. And from 1983 to 2010, 27 years, he toils in anonymity as an assistant at 7 different schools, coaching various position groups on the offensive side of the ball. 27 years as an assistant. No promise that it was going to get better. If you're an assistant coach in college football between 1983 and 2010, you have not made a lot of money. I can promise you that. He'd be lucky if he ever made more than $50,000 or $60,000 a year, grinding away probably 70 some hours a week. No promise that it's going to get better, that you're going to be rewarded. And then finally in 2011, he gets the opportunity to be the head coach at a Division II school, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And he embraces the opportunity. And in 6 years at IUP, he goes 53-17, and he's the coach of the year. And then he translates that job into a bigger one at an FCS school, the old 1AA, Elon, down in North Carolina. That's a program that had gone 4-20 in the 2 seasons prior to his arrival. And in his 2 years there, they go back-to-back to the national playoffs. And again, coach of the year in the conference. That job leads him to James Madison, where he oversees in his 5 seasons there the transformation of James Madison from a good 1AA program to now a 1A program that's in the national playoff. And of course, we know what he's done at Indiana. 27-2 in 2 seasons at a place that was the doormat of college football for decades and a national championship. How? How do you do it? He recruited some great players. He used the transfer portal really well. He brought in 13 guys from JMU. He brought in Mendoza from Cal. He had a great staff. He had a great vision, but so many places do that. Keep your head down and work. Get a room full of guys committed to the same vision and willing to make the same sacrifices you are. That's how you succeed in life. You know, I think about my mother-in-law a lot. Ada Cruz, Ada Colon, her married name, daughter of a first-generation immigrant. Her father, my wife's grandfather, comes from Puerto Rico, moves to New York City in the late 1940s, brings with him 4 children, I think, actually. He's a master craftsman. He's a carpenter. And so he immediately goes to work, banging nails in and around New York City, gets a job at a shipyard, and grinds away. He's essentially has come to the country with nothing. And he works his way up through this shipyard to the point where he's able to put away enough money where he moves out of New York City and he comes down to the Jersey Shore in the 1970s, which is still relatively undeveloped. He's got enough money to buy a plot of land, and he builds his own house with his hands, literally builds his own house on this plot of land that he's bought with his own sweat, and eventually gets a job as a foreman at Viking Yacht, which is a really popular yacht building company in this area. He's a tremendous success story. And his daughter, my mother-in-law, Ada, whose biggest sin in life has been she just had bad taste in men. She married 2 pretty much no good men. The first of whom, the father of my wife, walked out on that family almost immediately. My wife has never met her father, never met her father. Ada raised her own 2 kids on her own while she was going to school to get a teaching certificate, and then later on to get a master's degree, and then later on to get a second master's degree so she could become an administrator. And she worked her way through school systems, teacher, guidance counselor, up into the college ranks, teaching at colleges, on her own, raising 2 kids, waking up every day 5:30 in the morning, grinding. She still does it. She's 79 years old. She still wakes up at 5:30 a.m. She's in the coffee shop at 6 to meet her friends. And then it's senior center for aerobics, playing bingo, going to city council meetings, going to her Spanish club, the various groups that she belongs to, tackling her life with a zest for living, not worrying about what's next, keeping her head down, grinding, raising 2 unbelievably successful kids, one of whom is now my wife. That's how you get it done. I have so much admiration for my mother-in-law and for the way that she has attacked her life. And I think about Curt Cignetti, and that's how he attacked his coaching career. 27 years as an assistant, toiling in anonymity. No promise that he'd ever be where he was on Monday night, and yet there he was, sticky with Gatorade, the eyes of the nation upon him. And what did he talk in that moment? What did he do? He reminded people, here's how you get here. Keep your nose down and work hard. And if that opportunity comes, he didn't add this, so I will. If that opportunity comes, be ready. Be ready. Be prepared. Take advantage of it. You may not get another one. Don't squander it. Cignetti, when he did get his break at IUP, he knew how to get it done, and he worked his way into the job at the bigger Indiana University, and now he's a national champ. It's a phenomenal story. So congratulations to Indiana. And if there's any young people listening, any Generation Zers or millennials out there, don't think about Instagram. Don't think about what your friends are doing. Don't think about what some fake ass model just posted on social media. Just do your job, man. Grind. And it'll get better. And you'll get to where you want to be. Happens all the time in this country. It's not easy, but it happens. All right. Join us on Friday for our Hot Route. Pez is back. We're going to preview the AFC and NFC championship games. Some great stuff on tap. We are getting to the end of the regular season, but keep it here at the Call Sheet. We're a year-round podcast. Just got the word yesterday. I'm headed back to the Combine in February. So once the dust settles on the Super Bowl and the season is over, we'll have that to look forward to. And then it's free agency, and then it's the draft. And before you know it, we're into mini camps. The NFL and football never sleeps, and we'll have it all for you right here at the Call Sheet. So stay with us, and thank you as always for listening. Hope everybody has a great day. Take care.